last stream of the year. You know I'm coming back in the new year because this first year of streaming has just been awesome. I had a great time debuting as a toon, streaming in my pajamas, and getting to know some of you and making some new friends along the way. It's just been really awesome. And, I know we're a small channel, but really every person who came into chat and hung out with me and showed me some new stuff, it really meant a lot to me, and I had a lot of fun getting to know all of you. And I'm looking forward to doing more of it in the new year. We're going to have some more streams, but this is going to be the last Friday night stream because I'm going on vacation starting next Friday till the new year. So won't have any more Friday streams until the new year, but I do probably have a stream coming up tomorrow and Monday and Wednesday. So I hope you guys will hang out with me for those streams as well. But yeah, it's just been an awesome time for my first year streaming. So I just wanted to thank all of you. And speaking of thanking everyone and being in the season for giving and holiday spirit and all that stuff, we brought back the contest. That's right. I'm giving away a Drake cutter with lifetime insurance. That's right, lifetime insurance. So even if you don't like the cutter, and I don't know why you wouldn't, you can use this as an upgrade token to get something else cool. And it's it has lifetime insurance, which is going to be pretty useful in the verse going on in the future. But I don't know why you wouldn't like this ship. I mean, it's awesome. Probably the best starter ship you can get in the game. And I must say, really, I've been blown away by the response of this contest. I just threw out the video maybe 2 days ago, and immediately we got like 20 subscribers in the last 2 or 3 days. So we're only 5 subscribers away from unlocking this giveaway at 400 subs. So, I mean, that is just awesome, everybody. I wish my studio audience is here to give you all a round of applause, but it's been really awesome. So anyway, get in now. This might be your last chance to do it because 5 subs is right around the corner. So if you want a shot at this ship, just leave a comment on one of my videos or live streams going back to the IA videos to now for a chance to win. I usually draw a random video between that period of time, between the contest period of time, and a random comment to be the winner. So if you did join the contest, look out for a reply from me when we hit 400 subs, notifying you of being the winner and, details on how to collect your ship. So best of luck to everybody. I hope everybody gets in on this contest and gets a chance to win. And there will be more contests coming up soon. So if you don't win this time, stick around with the channel, stay with us because there are more ships to come. Probably another cutter because I've been collecting them. But yeah, anyway, it's a great ship anyway. So I hope you guys get in on that. So let's hop into the news for the week. All right, everybody, Luminalia is still going on in Star Citizen. If you don't know what Luminalia is, it is Star Citizen's holiday event, kind of like a holiday season, kind of like a mix of a lot of Earther holidays, but in lore, it's a holiday between the Banu and the humans. Basically, it's described as a holiday celebrated by both Banu and humans on December 22nd. It began as a regularly held Banu festival, Tsikiti Ifanga. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, as I butcher most names, but for most laymen like me, it's the Glow Festival, which was marked by the lighting of ceremonial lamps that remained lit until their fuel was consumed. Sounds awfully familiar. Anyway, while the lamps were burning, all Banu, no matter where their location, were considered to be a part of one Suli, one group, cohabitating. Banu who formed an alliance centered around a specific shared skill set. That's kind of like us, as one group, banding around me, playing Star Citizen badly. Anyway, what it means for a lot of us in game is that Star Citizen is running some sales on starter ships. They're also giving away presents in game. There's 12 days of gift giving. Right now, I think we're up to the 6th day. And so far, what's really awesome this year is what they've been giving away has been playable in-game items. So definitely get in on this also. It's free. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can see what they've been giving away so far. It's been really neat stuff so far. I like this ugly sweater we got on day 1. The Luminalia skins for the 100i didn't look so bad either. As a matter of fact, let me blow this up a little bit. We've got day 3 had the ugly undersuits, which I think were just awesome. I can't wait to start wearing mine. And then the Avenger Titan, one of the best starter ships, also got its Luminalia skins, you know, for the festive holiday. Day 5, I'm not really sure what to feel about this special device. You know, take it as it is, but hey, it's free, it's a collectible, and it's, you know, got the holiday colors going on. But today's gift for you Nomad owners are 2 new skins, which I think look really cool. So definitely grab these. As a matter of fact, I have a Nomad. If they're in my hangar already, I'm going to be checking those out. But also there's special offerings on starter packages. I believe we've got a discount on the Aurora Holiday Starter Package of $40, which I think is a good buy. However, I still believe the best starter ship is probably the Drake Cutter right now. And it looks like the regular price is going to be $60. Right now they're in stock for $51 for the game starter package. But just remember, you can still win one free on me. All you have to do is leave a comment on one of our videos or live streams. And when we hit 400 subscribers, I will draw a winner. So if you want to get on that, get on it soon, because we're only like 5 subscribers away. I can't believe it. It's been the quickest response I've ever seen to a ship. And also the C8X Pisces Holiday Starter Package. This is also another great starter ship, which I enjoy flying around with a lot in the verse. So definitely a lot of stuff going on here. Oh, there's a 100i also. I didn't see this. Avenger Titan. This is one of the best starter ships. I had such a hard time giving away the ship. I don't understand why, because it's so awesome. And Nomad here at $71. Do they have any other deals? Let's see. I'm not going to do a full best or bad buys like I usually do. But I think probably the deal here is I would still probably target the Cutter just because of its versatility. But a lot of these are pretty good options. I think Pisces is a good option. And the Avenger Titan's a good option. Nomad is a good option, but well, I mean, if you want a Nomad, you can get it, 25% off, so that's not a bad deal, but it is kind of a high price ship. But yeah, it's kind of like a luxury one. Then we got the holiday swag. I myself have one of these Pico the Penguins because, Pico's awesome. But anyway, yeah, so that's Luminalia. Get in on that action. I'm still setting up over here, but I think there's an Inside Star Citizen where we're talking about the year in review. So why don't we check that out a little bit while I get things started over here. Because I haven't had a chance to check it out myself, but I'm interested in hearing what Jared and the gang has to say about Star Citizen this year, which has been another record-breaking sales year.
Hello everyone, welcome to Inside Star Citizen. I'm Jared Huckabee, and this is it. It's the end of the year. The much anticipated Alpha 3.18 is being hammered away on by developers and citizen testers alike, and it's that time where we look back and reflect on many of the more memorable events and additions to the Star Citizen experience in a special episode we like to call the Star Citizen Year in Review 2022. Because sometimes you just call a thing what it is. Let's get to it. We'll start things off with some of the big ticket feature items, and perhaps none were bigger than the server cap increase, which saw the persistent universe population increase from 50 to 100, paving the way for things like Siege of Ores,
I got some mixed feelings about this part.
For events like Jumptown. And as you can see here, the collective re-entry of 100 simultaneous spacecraft, and the loudest I've ever heard the VFX team giggle.
Hey, Rusty Man, thanks for checking in.
They're gigglers.
Hope everything's going good with the Ghost
Player
Corps.
refueling also made its debut in 2022, enabling the peer-to-peer profession that allows for a new way to help your fellow citizens and make a buck along the way, an important step ahead for the upcoming inclusion of the Pyro system, where gas stations will be few and far between in the wide open and desolate wastes, where anarchy reigns and everyone must fend for themselves. It's basically Los Angeles on Black Friday. In addition to refueling, the arrival of mining gadgets brought another refinement to that profession, providing new and improved means for making your fortunes out in the verse. and then coming back to liquidate that and almost everything else with the new selling mechanic, allowing players to finally clear out much of what filled their inventories for profit. Why can you make so much money in video games and not in real life? That's my mom asking, not me. There were also plenty of new places to visit and have adventures, including a variety of new derelict spacecraft, both floating in space and crashed down on the surface of Stanton's planets and moons. These derelicts not only add to the visual texture and history of the persistent universe, they provide numerous opportunities for mission and loot gameplay as more and more continue to be added throughout this last year and the next.
I must say, I did kind of enjoy the derelicts.
And the same can also be said for derelict outposts and rivers, which began with a single estuary on Microtech and continued to develop throughout the year into a watershed release included in the upcoming
We had some fun
Alpha
trying to find a
3.2.
river.
But for me, the highlight of RiverTech has been the ascendance of Will Hain to River Guy in the YouTube comments.
River Guy, I gotta check that out. This is a pretty good stop though if you want to just hang out.
To the persistent universe in 22, as important an aspect as any for those of us who spend most of our time waking up in medical beds rather than exploring the universe.
That would be me.
It's not that I'm bad, it's just that everyone else is better. Especially at racing in the first of several community-initiated in-universe racetracks such as the Snake Pit, which began with the XGR racing community exploding in popularity this year and an exciting initiative within development to canonize creations from the players into the persistent universe proper that will continue in the upcoming Alpha 3.18 and beyond. And speaking of the community, much of what made Star Citizen's 2022 special was created by the community itself, including recurring events like Fight or Flight, the largest 2v2 PvP dogfighting tournament in the verse, the Hurston Hurt Locker, a battle royal event on Magda that features lots of mayhem and death
next year
where
I'll
almost
actually have
anything
time to
goes
participate
and
in one of
precious
these.
few survive, and the classic Daymar Rally, a canonized staple that kicks off each year with a 500-kilometer race with multiple divisions and loads of ground vehicle shenanigans. And in addition to competitive events, the role-playing scene in Star Citizen continued to evolve and take notice within both the community and development teams as players utilize tools within the game to report the news, create exciting narratives, and simply bring an increased sense of immersion to life in the persistent universe. And out of universe, the Bar Citizen World Tour kicked off as CIG staff traveled to cities, states, provinces, and countries around the world to break bread and tell tales with players from all walks of life. It's been a terrific return to form and a chance for players and developers to connect that will continue throughout 2023, so be sure to keep an eye on the website and socials for details and let us know when events are happening in your area. Other notable events were the Battle of the Bricks, where the Star Citizen and EVE Online community teams came together for charity in a battle of building blocks, trivia, weird challenges, and whatever a wolffish is. It's terrible. Terrible is what wolffish is.
I have no idea what that is.
And then this year, CitizenCon kicked off with the official Journey to 4.0 initiative, with presentations from developers on exciting new gameplay systems like resource management, master modes, and investigations. The return of Chris Roberts to peel the curtain back on Squadron 42 developments that will benefit the persistent universe in the future, and we debuted the only constant, the spacecraft where ISC, SCL, and more will emanate from for the foreseeable future. And it still has a few tricks up its sleeve we hope to show you in 2023 and beyond.
That is a pretty cool studio.
But back in the verse, while the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo and Invictus continue to be highlights of the year, the biggest dynamic event in Star Citizen's history happened with the Siege of Orizon, where the vicious Ninetales took control of the floating platforms surrounding Orizon and waged a multi-stage battle against
we had a lot of fun with
in
this
a
one.
first-of-its-kind mixture of Star Citizen's FPS gameplay systems and impetus for numerous technological improvements to the entire game as a whole, including the server cap increase we talked about before. And this year's Ship Showdown was a chance for community members to showcase their creativity in pushing their favorite ships and vehicles into contention to be named Best in Show at this year's IAE. And you can see some of that creativity here, and here, and here. Definitely a highlight of each and every year.
That's pretty cool.
And speaking about ships and vehicles, let's do a rundown of all the new ones that made their way flyable and drivable in 2022, including the Hull A, Hover Quad, Mule, Centurion, STV, Scorpius, Corsair, Cutter, and C8R Pisces. And that brings us to now, and the impending release of Alpha 3.18, which will add a whole lot more to this 2022 of Star Citizen highlights, including hole-stripping salvage gameplay. Yes, you and your trusty multi-tool, reclaimer, or brand new vulture have a new means to make your fortunes by finding and processing the remnants of space junk in the verse. This applies not only to destroyed player ships, but NPC hulks spawned throughout the Stanton system for you to discover and dismantle.
Well, that looks pretty cool. Just pausing the gameplay here real quick because I've been really curious to see what salvaging is actually going to look like here. And not unsurprisingly, it looks sort of like a mining system on steroids, but I can't wait for this one in 3.18. And as a matter of fact, we'll talk about 3.18 patch notes right after this.
The cargo refactor is here. The cargo refactor is here. Alpha 3.18 also brings with it the first iteration of the cargo refactor that will physicalize much of what we carry in our cargo holds and open up new avenues for cargo reclamation after disaster and potential piracy for the disaster causers of us out there.
I can't wait for this. I mean, I love using that multi-tool and dragging cargo around, but being able to lift stuff all around is going to be pretty awesome.
I'm looking at Tom. There's also the new PTV racetrack in Orizon that aims to provide a new recreational activity for those looking for the low-stakes challenge of buggy competitions, or for the players that go out there and create emergent opportunities that I have no doubt none of us are prepared for.
Is that a Pico? Shut the front door. This looks pretty awesome. This looks like Mario Kart.
Can't wait to see what you do here. And the revitalization of Korea.
We got to do that.
Of additional sandbox prison activities. Two components of an overall overhaul to the crime stat system that will be more lenient on what sends you to prison while providing new opportunities to remove crime stat before going and after escaping. 6 new persistent universe racetracks based on community creations that will bring players to several of the lesser traveled areas of the Stanton system and allow them to test their mettle against others, with new gateway and timer functionality being added alongside them. New Orizon
really
missions
catering
that
to the
run
racing
on the
crowd,
surrounding platforms when Siege of Orizon is resting from all the mayhem. New Sand Cave archetypes in the Daymar crash site introduce the brand new Mercury and 600i derelicts being added to the persistent universe. And 2 new exciting technological advancements this year with the implementation of the Gen 12 renderer and persistent entity streaming, which both convert the current persistent universe to new graphical and technological foundations that serve as the new basis for persistent universe's continued development, as well as set the stage for Star Citizen to realize its fullest potential in the years to come through server meshing, increased player and resource caps, and the addition of new star systems like Pyro, Nyx, and beyond. And going on right now is Luminalia, where players can log in each and every day to redeem a variety of in-game gifts, including holiday sweaters, undersuits, new paints for the 100i, Avenger, and more. Remember, it is 12 days, folks, and a sextant that Ben Curtis has really wanted to get in there for a while.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I don't get the sextant.
So, what did we learn this year? Well, I'd say a whole heck of a lot. But at the core of it all, to me, this year seemed to be about celebrating and renewing that connection between player and developer that's been at the heart of this project since it first launched in 2012. It's been said often, and probably by folks much better than myself, but it bears repeating over and over and over again that none of this happens without your continued involvement, whether that's playing the game, discussing on Spectrum, reporting on the Issue Council, supporting through pledging, encouraging through Bar Citizens, creating and streaming through social media and contests and the like, or simply allowing us into your lives most weeks while we share the who we are and what we do with you through ISC and SCL and the like. It's kind of ridiculous that I get to stand here on a spaceship and represent the work of over 800 strong with you, from game directors to QA testers, from major features like salvage and cargo, down to little internal tools like asset validators. And I can hardly wait to see what 2023 has in store for us. This journey we're on can be exciting, rewarding, educational, consuming, and if we're being honest, a little frustrating at times. But there isn't another one remotely like it in the entire game industry, with so many dedicated to bringing this universe of possibility to life. So, for one last time in 2022, for Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Happy holidays, be safe, and we'll see you all here next year.
07, Jared. Got a little emotional there at the end. A little choked up. I could tell that man has his passion in his project, and I totally believe it. Wow, that was a lot to unpack there. I heard a little bit about some of all that stuff, but actually seeing it looks pretty awesome. I mean, I can't. This patch 3.18 looks like it's amazing. Like there's a lot of content in there, so I can't wait to jump into that when they finally drop it. Let's take a quick look at the patch notes from my favorite unofficial source of information for everything Star Citizen, starcitizen.tools. And hopefully we're back on next Friday, the next Friday that we can stream, which will be after New Year's. Hopefully all this stuff is out there, so I'm looking forward to it. But this is some pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look. So they talked about the cargo system refactor, and one thing I love about this site is you get like kind of like a plain, description of what it is in plain English that I can understand. So basically they're saying that the refactor of the cargo ships will allow both found and purchased cargo to be picked up, moved around, and placed into the cargo grid of ships. So that's pretty cool. A lot of looting going on there, and that should give a boost to pirate gameplay, right? Persistent entity streaming, so implementation of persistent entity streaming, core technology to Star Citizen, making use of services such as entity graph and replication layer. This will allow every dynamic object in the game to fully persist across all servers. So that means if I drop my Coke or bottle of water in this location, for example, as in this picture, it should be there on all the servers. It should be replicated to all servers that I put this bottle right here. So that's pretty awesome in the sense that we should be able to go back and find stuff like this. And I wonder what kind of stuff people are going to be leaving around or if there's going to be a cleanup process, because right now the medical gowns is a big mess going on there. Anyway, salvage, this is a really big one for me. And actually it worked for me because I picked up a vulture during IE. But salvage and hull stripping. So first implementation of salvage into the persistent universe, which includes both hull stripping as well as repair. So this will include both performing hull stripping and repairs by hand, as well as hull stripping using systems on board the Drake Vulture and Aegis Reclaimer. So Reclaimer is finally going to get useful, and we should get the Vulture coming out. So that's exciting times. So Drake Vulture is going to be coming out, as we talked about there. Pyro Multi-Tool, though, is going to get a salvaging tool, so I didn't actually know about that, so that's pretty cool as well, too. Is there anything this multi-tool can't do? But this really makes, I think, exploring a whole lot cooler that you're going to be able to start salvaging some stuff as well, too. Daymar Crash Site, a derelict settlement on Daymar using parts of the Star Runner and 600i. Okay. So I heard about the 600i becoming a derelict, but I didn't know the Star Runner would be. As well as some HABs adapted to the biome to create a point of interest with some type of activity. Let's see what kind of picture they have there. I'm kind of interested in this because, as a big Star Wars kind of guy, if Daymar gets to be like a Tatooine kind of place where you can kind of explore, I think that'll be pretty awesome. Hey, new rivers in Stanton. Yes, we need this, honestly. I think the river at Microtech was pretty awesome, but it'd be awesome to see some more bodies of water out there for us to explore and take a look at. Especially like for me, like I'm just getting into dual sticking or whatever. It'll be kind of nice to fly around and enjoy some more scenery. Because right now, I mean, it is beautiful, but it is kind of repetitive as well too. And I just like bodies of water, getting in there and going swimming. Sand Cave Archetype. So this is where we're going to get to the less exciting stuff, possibly. Establishing the visual language, creation pipeline, and quality standard for a new Sand Cave archetype. With the release of Cave Networking, using this archetype will be placed throughout the Stanton system. Okay. not really too excited about that. I'm sorry, I can't really get into that. Arena Commander is getting a classic race mode overhaul. So complete overhaul of the system and maps in Arena Commander's classic race mode, which is good. It needs that because right now racing in Arena Commander is not that much fun to me. Improvements to scoring, complete rework of all 3 New Horizons Speedway maps, as well as a new map for the Snake Pit. Well, XGR has really made a big impact since they came over to Star Citizen. Really been, you know, I mean, it seems like the devs really caught on to racing and realized, hey, we're not really putting out that much. Well, this is debatable. It's probably going to be considered a hot take, but there's not really a lot of content in Star Citizen, right? The players have to make a lot of it, but racing automatically gives you an opportunity to create a lot of player-made content right there. So that's going to be pretty cool. And definitely something I can enjoy doing more in a new year, because every now and then you just get a little bit bored. Sandbox prison activities. I'm not too excited about this stuff. However, I guess they're going to give us some more gameplay within prison. I don't think anybody enjoys going to prison, right? Not that you're supposed to enjoy going to prison, but I think because of all the reasons that you could accidentally get incarcerated in this Star Citizen is kind of a bummer. But if they make it a little bit more fun for us, then hey, who knows? Maybe we can turn that into a little adventure and make some friends in the big house. Security port Korea reactivation. I didn't know it was deactivated. Korea will take a more central role and stay in security. Crusader Security have moved in a full-time staff and have begun storing confiscated contraband aboard the station. The station will be off limits to all civilians unless given prior authorization. So, of course, that means we're going to have to storm in there and figure out what's going on there. New missions in Orison we saw in the video, so that should be interesting. I think Orison is a really beautiful place, but I really hate going there because it's really taxing on my system. And taking off and leaving is kind of a chore. But I'm hoping now that I'm becoming a dual-stick pilot, I might enjoy a little bit more of that. New introduction scenarios, adding a new variation in difficulty levels of introduction scenarios that players will come across while quantum traveling. Yeah, I've only been interdicted a few times by NPCs, but it's been pretty lame. So we'll have to see if they can add more onto that. I always get, as an Elite Dangerous player, I always get like a little triggered when I get interdicted because that's usually when I'd get jumped by another player. But in Star Citizen, it's mainly NPCs. Environmental space missions, implementation of a new mission and scenario that players will encounter as they wander around an area of space. Missions that appear will be based on the probability volumes that the player is currently in. Okay, well, we'll have to see how that goes. I assume that somehow the cargo that you're carrying may affect some of these events, so who knows? Maybe NPC pirates might get a little bit more aggressive. Anyway, that is a mouthful, and that is a lot of information, but hey, what could I say? It's my last chance to do news on a Friday, so I really wanted to get in there, and I really enjoyed ISC. I'm really seeing like how far Star Citizen's progressed this year. I think I needed to see that because I was getting a little bit down on Star Citizen because, this year it's been a year where a lot of devs have been channeled over to Squadron 42. And while we have gotten a lot this year, it just didn't feel that way. Mainly because I guess of how development is and what they're working on. Some of the stuff is more exciting than others. But hey, if we get that salvage and persistent entity streaming and stuff like that, that's really starting to bring the server meshing coming together. And Pyro, I don't know. I'm starting to get excited for next year. But we'll have to see. I'm cautiously optimistic because I've been excited before and I've also been disappointed. But I think there's a lot of reason to feel good about Star Citizen. Also a lot of reasons to feel negative about it, though, if we're talking about the galaxy, to be quite honest. But hey, we'll save that for another episode. Anyway, it is an exciting time for me because also, with the end of the year, is an end of an era for me. And what I mean by that is I have been a HOTAS pilot for most of my flying career. Which I must say, most of it started in Elite Dangerous. Even though I pledged for Star Citizen first, I really couldn't enjoy Star Citizen and start playing with it until, in the last few years. So all that time, I started flying in Elite Dangerous as a HOTAS pilot. But thanks to the recommendations of a few viewers, like Shadow Girl and Val, I was talked into upgrading to some VKB dual sticks, and I actually spent all last night assembling these because it kind of reminded me of those commercials where they say some assembly required. These required a little bit of some assembly, and I wanted to be extra careful with them because they were a little pricey. But just to show you where I'm coming from, and I know this picture is a little bit grainy here on top, but I was using the Thrustmaster HOTAS system here. And for years, people have stopped by and told me you really need the dual stick in Star Citizen. It'll change your life, etc., etc. So I finally decided to take the plunge because, while I enjoyed these and I really like the button map layout, my problem with the Thrustmasters is there were some build quality issues, and I've gone through about 3 of these flight sticks. That twist axis, the Z-axis, just always broke on me, and it's really, you know, as much as I like the Thrustmaster, there was a really poor design decision with how the cable goes up that stick, and I've had to like open it up and fix it myself, and sometimes I did it right and sometimes I broke it, so it's been frustrating, which is a shame because I really do like the design and the price point is kind of pretty good, but that was a problem. And also with the throttle, it's really easy to throttle up, but you can't really throttle down, so you had to like map a button to throttle down, so it's a little bit different. Anyway, enter the VKBs. This is the setup that I got. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do a video on these, but Val and Shadow Girl really helped me out with picking out this particular model, and so far from what I can see, I'm pretty impressed with it. I actually got this little extension here. I forget what they call this. I think this is the Evo base, but I forget what they call this extension here. But the reason why I got it is because it turns the stick on its side a little bit more, which reminded me more of the throttle that I've been used to for years. So I think it's a good way for me to transition into dual sticking. This actually has the option so you can lock it from moving from side to side, so it'll just move up and down like a throttle if you want to use it as a throttle, but I didn't want that. I wanted to get the 6 degrees of freedom, but I still wanted to feel as though I was throttling up, so I'm pretty excited. Today what we're going to do is jump into Star Citizen for my first flights with these sticks. It may be a little exciting, it may be a little boring at times because there may be some things I need to remap as I'm getting used to a new stick system, but I'm really excited to see if what everybody's been telling me about dual sticking is true, and it really is the way to go. Because I've been happy. And let's see, where is Bass? And the hangar should be around here, right? Oh, there you go. I see you now. Look at you dancing in Quantum. How many people can say they did that? I make a good TikTok. Not that I TikTok. There you go, doing the chicken. Awesome. I've never stepped out of a ship during Quantum. I didn't know it was possible. Like I thought you would just go flying off or something like that. Like, it seems like you should, right? Now they're on the dark side of Quantum. Oh, the hangar is gravity, okay. But if you were to walk off of the hangar, then what happens? Should you find out? Alright, I'm moving to the other turret now. Oh no! No! I guess we broke the server.